So I taught a meditation class last night and I loved the topic, so I want to share it with you guys. So I was watching Michael Neill's one of my favorite mentors. He's written a lot of really awesome books. If you haven't read them, highly recommend. So he did another TED Talk, and it was about how you could change the world. And there was a sentence in there, and he said something like, when I feel fear or I'm thinking about fear, at least I know what thoughts aren't working for me. And I thought that was really interesting because, in my meditation classes a lot, or in life, or things that we study and all of this, we're always pointed towards back home to ourselves. And so we'll sit in meditation and I say things like, okay, so, notice the space inside of you, or the sky before the thinking, before the clouds. And some of us that are out of our brain a little bit have the chance to settle into those things and feel those things. But sometimes we're still so in our intellectual, conceptual mind, we're like looking for it. Like, okay, is there a space that I sit? Or is inside like the inside of a box? Is that what inside me means? And I thought, well, this is fascinating. We might not be able to put our finger on what our true nature is, or peace, or love, or all of these deeper states of being, but sometimes we can put our finger on what it is not. Like he said, at least I know what to not think, what isn't working for me. And so when we can kind of start to look around and go, that isn't working, and we let go of it, then instead of needing to look for these better feelings in life, these deeper feelings, these things that we crave, they rise to the surface. So this video is just to open your mind about the opposite of. So I was watching the Michael Neill thing, heard the thing about we can at least know what type of thinking isn't working for us. Get in the car, listening to country. Eli Young Band comes on. And the lyrics to the song I was listening to said, I don't know what love is, but at least I know what love ain't. And I thought, whoa, man, that's crazy. And I was like, exactly. Like, we might be so far gone and so far lost from these deeper feelings inside of us, but we know what it isn't. But what an amazing thing. That's actually beautiful, because that can point us towards what it is when we sense what it isn't. And when we sense what it isn't, and you can do this in a meditation after this, what I went on to do in class last night was had them close their eyes, ask, without getting intellectual about this is a feeling thing, ask, what am I not? And thoughts could come and feelings could come. And then we would ask, what is the opposite of what I am not? What is the opposite of fear? What is the opposite of this thinking mind? What is the opposite of what isn't working for me? And you pick a couple of those, or you pick one that works for you. And I don't know, after I saw that video and heard that lyric, I laid down on my bed and I kind of felt into it and sat with it. And I was like, okay, these heavy feelings, like, what's the opposite of it? Because these aren't working for me. These aren't doing anything. This isn't love, so it's not bringing me to love. Like, how can red get me to blue? Red's just going to get me more red. I got to hop off red train and get on blue train if I want to get to blue. So if we can kind of look at red and see red and go, well, that's red. I don't want to be in red. I don't want to be in fear or anger or this or that. And I don't mean that as like, because emotions are normal and energy's normal and it comes in and out. But if this is something like perpetuating and you realize you're like caught up in your own pattern, and you got to kind of like, well, let me look elsewhere. Let me see what's its opposite. So it's just a great prompt question. It's a great thing for us to think about. One other meditation that I did that was fun one day was to help people, guide them to the space within them. I said, well, what's the opposite of the outside world? And you don't answer it. It's like your spirit, your wisdom is answering it for you in a feeling, in a knowing. So you just sit there and you close your eyes and you look at what isn't working and you ask for the opposite of it. And without even meditating, you can see this in your life. If you're arguing with your You know, significant other, what's the opposite of that? If you're insecure, what's the opposite of that? Now, the reason this works is because all of those, the opposites, the confidence, the love, the forgiveness, the compassion, all of those things, and the list goes on, these deeper states of being, are your true nature. That's your default, that's your standard. We don't see it because we're so wrapped up in the fear and the thinking. We're wrapped up in what isn't working for us because weirdly our brain thinks it is. It made some connection when we were young that it kept us safe one moment in time, and now it just keeps going on repeat. And we'll stick on that road and we'll stay in that lane and we'll keep seeing red until we think, what if there's something else? I'm curious. So just be open, be curious. This isn't a to-do or a technique. It's just I'm going to open up my awareness to something else. What's the opposite of what I've been experiencing? And don't try to find a point or get intellectual about this. Just open mind, loose grip, see what rises to the surface, and maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. And if this made absolutely no sense, I can't help you. So have a good day, and I'll see you guys in the next video.